Can you confirm with News Nation that you're running for president?
Boy, that would be a nice confirmation, wouldn't it? There'd be a lot of people that would be very upset about that. But I think you're going to be very happy. I think people are going to be very happy at what I do. I was going to do something last night, actually, that would have made the place really happy. And so we're doing it a few days later. And I think people are going to be very happy, very impressed.
To your predecessor, who is about to launch another campaign. So how do you reassure them, if that is the reason for their questioning, that the former president will not return, or that his political movement, which is still very strong, will not once again take power in the United States?
Well, we just have to demonstrate that he will not take power.
In order to make America great and glorious again, I am tonight announcing my candidacy for President of the United States.
There's breaking news out of Palm Beach, Florida. Former President Trump says his Mar-a-Lago home there is being raided by the FBI.
For the first time ever, a former president of the United States has been indicted.
Former President Donald Trump indicted for a second time.
A federal grand jury indicted former President Donald Trump. It marks the third time the former president has been indicted.
Breaking news on former President Trump. He's been indicted for the fourth time in 5 months.
Breaking news, this is an image that will be in the history books. This is the mugshot of the 45th President of the United States.
The optics of this is working to his advantage. Look.
Breaking news from Colorado, where the state Supreme Court has just disqualified former President Donald Trump.
Donald Trump found guilty on all 34 felony counts.
The total initiative relative to what we're going to do with more Border Patrol and more asylum officers.
I really don't know what he said at the end of that sentence. I don't think he knows what he said either. Take a look at what happened.
The next president of the United States, Donald J. Trump.
I proudly accept your nomination for president of the United States.
Let Trumpomania run wild, brother!
So I've decided the best way forward is to pass the torch to a new generation.
She's going to my philosophy now. In fact, I was going to send her a MAGA hat. They're eating the dogs, the people that came in. They're eating the cats.
Investigation underway after the second assassination attempt on former President Donald Trump.
As I was saying,
as you can see, I'm not just MAGA, I'm dark MAGA.
Get in there.
Let's go! I want to be a whale psychiatrist.
I'm going for a job right now at McDonald's. I really wanted to do this all my life.
I've now worked for 15 minutes more than Kamala.
The only garbage I see floating out there is his supporters.
How do you like my garbage truck? This truck is in honor of Kamala and Joe Biden.
Here are our first projections. There, NBC News projects that Donald Trump has won the presidential election in Kentucky, Indiana. In West Virginia, Donald Trump is the winner. Florida, Tennessee, Missouri, Alabama, Oklahoma, South Carolina, Arkansas, Texas, North Dakota, South Dakota. NBC News also projects a winner in the Wyoming presidential race, Mississippi, Louisiana, Ohio, Kansas, Utah, Montana, Iowa, the state of Nebraska in the presidential contest, Idaho. The first swing state is North Carolina, going to Donald Trump. Donald Trump has prevailed in the presidential race in Georgia. Pennsylvania. NBC now projects he is the winner of Michigan and its 15 electoral votes.
Donald Trump is the winner in Alaska, picking up 3 more electoral votes.
Donald Trump has won the state of Wisconsin. He is the winner of this race and will return to the White House as this country's 47th president.
Hey, look what happened. Is this crazy?
What's going on, everyone? Welcome into CobraCast 199. I am your host, Jeremy Prime, Mage IDOT of the 199. Happy Monday. And we are in Switch 2 week now. It's real. So I am very, very excited and hyped for that. And so towards the end of the week, if you're interested, I'll be playing Mario Kart World on Geeks and Gamers Play and on D-Day Cobra Gaming. It's going to be awesome, but that is neither here nor there right now. We have a lot to talk about today. Early CobraCast. Like I said, I'm going to try to do these during the day more if I can. It works better for me and my schedule. I know a lot of you enjoy the earlier ones. It doesn't mean I won't do them in the evenings too. But I think I might want to shift the priority to the more early day CobraCasts and make the night times ones more for like maybe emergency CobraCast, things like that. I don't know. We'll figure it out. But either way, we're here. We got Miki says, hot men. Oh, yeah. Hunter says, I'm gay and late. Trump 2028 figs. Woo. Jason JJJ says, damn, the King of the Hill voice actor Jonathan Joss was shot and killed by his neighbor. I heard about that. I don't know the details surrounding it, but I did see that story going around, and that's really awful just on the premise alone. Like I said, I don't know the details at all. So, but Trump derangement syndrome is the thing that we need to focus in on right now. Trump derangement syndrome. And let me tell you, it's starting to get bad. I'm seeing some of the worst case of Trump derangement syndrome we've seen to date. And I think we need to focus in on who I believe is the poster child of Trump derangement syndrome. And there's a lot of people that you could name. There's a lot of people you could name that would be the poster child for TDS. But I think that there's a runaway winner for that. And the runaway winner would be none other than Keith Olbermann. Keith Olbermann, I believe, holds the title for worst case of Trump derangement syndrome. Keith Olbermann has lost it. I'm trying to figure out what's going on here with this video. What is he wearing? What's the camera angle? This whole thing is strange, man. So let's just listen in to what Keith Olbermann has to say right here. It's bad.
Now on the all-new Monday Countdown podcast, Trump posts that Joe Biden was cloned, executed, and turned into a robot in the year 2020. Contrary to what has been widely reported, no, this was not simply the repost from some other lunatic on Truth Social. He changed the original post. This is a Trump post claiming this about Joe Biden. Is he in fact crazy enough to believe?
This is exactly what I voted for. Okay? Like, there's no doubt about it. This is exactly what I voted for. Give me more of this. Now, if you're curious about what he's talking about this post right here that President Trump posted on True Social right here. This is an account that he linked back to. There is no Joe Biden. Executed in 2020. Biden clones, doubles, and robotic engineered soulless mind entities are what you see. Democrats don't know the difference. And Keith Olbermann, listen to what he says. It's so good. Oh, shit. Hang on, right here. My bad. I didn't switch over.
Biden was cloned, executed, and turned into a robot in the year 2020. Contrary to what has been widely reported, no, this was not simply the repost from some other lunatic on Truth Social. He changed the original post. This is a Trump post claiming this about Joe Biden. Is he in fact crazy enough to believe that Joe Biden was cloned, executed, and turned to a robot, or is he just crazy enough to believe that somebody else will believe that? What's the goddamn difference? His mind has jumped the shark. Get out the men with the butterfly nets. He cannot remain president when he is this crazy. Meantime, his top advice.
What are you wearing? I would say Keith Olbermann looks like an aging lesbian, but I don't want to be disrespectful to aging lesbians. My goodness, dude. Like, This is bad. Like, this camera angle is so weird. This camera angle is so strange.
Advisor Elon Musk reportedly keeps peeing himself. This is not a metaphor. This is a story that due to excessive drug use, Musk keeps peeing himself.
Did you say doo-doo? Doo-doo?
Metaphor. This is a story that due to excessive drug use, Musk keeps peeing himself. Peed himself during the election. May have peed himself in the White House. Try that story out if it's a Democratic advisor or even just a celebrity endorser. If the story's about Taylor Swift or John Podesta or me, what would the story be like, and when would the coverage end in the year 3000? All that and much more on a very bizarre edition of the Countdown Podcast, now live wherever you podcast.
Man, it's crazy. I used to watch this guy on ESPN back in the day. It was when him and Dan Patrick, and I had nothing against Keith Olbermann. You know, I enjoyed Keith Olbermann's sports coverage. I thought it was fine. You know, I thought he was a very entertaining sports anchor, and I thought he did a great job. And to see how far his mind has been melted because of Trump derangement syndrome is absolutely crazy, man. But you think that's the end of it. But no. Trump is breaking a lot of brains right now. Watch what I'm about to show you. And I want you to ask yourself, how in the world did another person post this and think this was a good idea? This is Eric Swalwell. He thought this was a good idea to post this. He thinks he's cool. Now, as I've told you, the left has decided their new meme is Taco Trump. What is it? Trump always chickens out. That's their new thing about Trump and the tariffs, and it's called Taco Trump. Trump always chickens out. So they're trying this whole meme now with tacos and Trump, and MAGA has already decided to meme the taco Trump stuff already. So you can't really hurt MAGA with memes like that. But look at this right here.
Hey, Congressman.
Trying to help you?
What the fuck is up with Trump always chickening out on tariffs?
Anything else?
Nope, that's it.
Oh my God. This is in real time. We're witnessing their brains broken in real time. Who made that decision? Who thought that was a good idea? Who? My God. That is insane. But this is where we are. Trump derangement syndrome has hit an all new level. And that's kind of hard to even process, because we've seen Trump derangement syndrome just go some very strange places. But it's even gotten to the point where Fox News decides to upload this video. And if you look at the title of the video, it says Elon Musk breaks from Trump. We have differences in opinion. That's the title, okay? Elon Musk breaks from Trump. We have differences in opinion. This is a 6-minute video. So I saw this and I'm like, okay, well, what's that about? So you play the video, and I just want to point out, we're a minute 20 into the video, nothing about Elon. We're 2 minutes into the video, nothing about Elon. 2.5 minutes, nothing about Elon. 3 minutes into the video. 3 minutes into the video, and there's nothing about Elon Musk. 3.5 minutes in, there's nothing about Elon Musk. 4 minutes into a 6-minute video, and there's nothing about Elon Musk. And then finally, 4 minutes and 7 seconds into it, we finally get this right here.
On this, Elon Musk shedding light on his view of the government, revealing he doesn't agree with everything the Trump administration is doing. Listen.
My frank opinion of the government is that, like, the government is just like the DMV that got big. Okay, so like when you say like let's have the government do something, you should think, do you want the DMV to do it? I mean, I agree with much of what the administration does, but we have differences of opinion. I don't want to, speak out against the administration, but I also don't want to take responsibility for everything the administration is doing.
I mean,
that's it. That's the clip right there. I never want to hear the mainstream or any of these clowns talk about clickbait YouTubers, because Fox News just took the cake right there. That's the clip. That's the entirety of what Elon Musk had to say. That is absolutely ridiculous. All he said was, I agree with a lot of what the administration is doing, but he did compare the government to the DMV, which I thought was a very good comparison. Oh my God, Elon Musk disagrees with something Trump does. Breaking news, ladies and gentlemen, breaking news. Absolutely stupid. People are saying it's an old clip. I don't think that's an old clip. He just did an interview with CBS not too long ago. I don't think that's an old clip. So, not even a new clip? Really? I mean, the video was uploaded 6 hours ago. He just did an interview with CBS where he was talking about the big, beautiful bill and how he disagreed with it. So, I'm pretty sure that's a recent clip. He's probably said similar stuff in the past, but he's wearing the same shirt where he talked about the big, beautiful bill. He's wearing the same shirt there as he was when he was talking the big, beautiful bill. So, but either way, the point being is that it's a nothing burger. There's really nothing in that anyway. And so it's just ridiculous that they even put that video out, because I saw that video. I was like, is this something worth watching? It was absolutely nothing. Absolutely nothing. Yeah, so Fox News, going to be Fox News. Nothing new there. Let me see here. We got Sinestro says, today Biden had a meeting with his cabinet, spoke to his desk, and got into an argument with his closet. Hunter says, what if Trump is right? Guess I'm not a conspiracy nut. I guess you're not. John freaking Murdoch for 50 says, I'm amazed that the Dems can still compete with MAGA considering how stupid they are. Absolutely, dude. Like, well, I don't think they can. I don't think they can compete with them, to be fair. Like the whole talk. Thank you, John. Like this whole Taco Trump thing is insane. That they think that this works. I showed on a CobraCast not too long ago, the taco memes from MAGA are better than the taco memes from the left, because you're not going to out meme MAGA. It's never going to happen. You can try, but you're never going to out meme MAGA. MAGA was built off of memes. Trump is the meme president. And so for the left to think that they have any chance whatsoever, yeah, sorry, not going to happen. Not going to happen at all. Vault95 says, just tagged you on X. Trump Chan has bazooka. All right, I'll check it out. FaZe Maza says, did you say Asian or aging lesbian? Keith is gay. He is very much gay. Miki says, somebody needs to add the fart sound to this video. TP says, the Taco Bell he's eating explains the farting. Polish Princess, breaking news. Trump-backed right-wing nationalist Karol, is it Nawrocki, secures a victory in Polish presidential election based Poland for Polish people. I did see that. Congratulations. 1992 Space Movie says, seems like the mainstream media is taking lessons from Jeremy about clickbait. Sadly, Jeremy won't read this because he's too busy talking about when he was in retail. Thank you, 1992 Space Movie. Chaz Dragoon says, Taco Trump, big, beautiful hard shell, lots of seasoned steak, cheese, special Don salsa, fresh lettuce, all U.S. made. The chat says, explain Jeremy's success, cloned and a robot. The Mickey will inherit their earth, says Tim Pool had a thumbnail last week. The end of MAGA, where nothing in the 15 to 20 minute video mentioned that until literally the closing goodbye statement. Yeah, and then Tim Pool has made comment like, first of all, I have no problem with clickbait. Okay, that's the internet. I have no problem with it. What I have a problem with is other people complaining about clickbait and then creating the clickbait themselves. Ultimately, the term clickbait, that's literally everything posted on the internet. Every single person that's on the internet that has created a YouTube channel or a Twitter account that's monetized, you want people to click on your shit. Every single person that uploads something to the internet wants people to see it. So some people are more creative in getting people to click on their stuff, and some people aren't. Now, blatantly misleading is a whole different discussion, but making something topical or whatever, like whatever, man, who cares? It's the fucking internet. Who gives a shit? You know? So that none of that bothers me. I don't really care about any of that. So, I got to show this clip right here because I definitely disagree with this premise, and I've kind of been seeing this premise going around. And while I understand the point that some people are making, ultimately, the truth is I don't agree. So the headline here is "Woke is officially dead." This is a clip from Asmongold. Woke is officially dead.
No change. Microsoft? No change. Xbox? No change. Disney? No change. Target? No change.
So far, this would be, I would call this progress. That's what I would call this. So far, this is progress that a lot of these companies that historically have virtue signaled and pushed this nonsense are not pushing it. It's definitely progress.
Starbucks. Even Starbucks roached out on the gays? Of all the people to roach out on the gays, you're going to expect Starbucks to do it? Damn. Wow. Okay, let's see here. Bank of America? No change? Nothing? What about Blizzard? No change. What about World of Warcraft? Also no change. Google's homepage. Let me see. Google. Nothing. Actually nothing. Even the Google homepage. Wow. There it is. The image, kind of. Yeah, I don't know, guys. And hover over it. Well, let me see.
So, again, all of this is positive and it's good. We're going to continue to listen to the whole video first because woke is nowhere near being dead. It's nowhere near being dead.
Hover over it. It might actually be over this year. Holy shit. Or not really over, but like the mass corporate support for it might be over. There's no way Overwatch didn't make any posts about Pride. There's no shot. Like, if that's true, then it's really dead. Well, guys, Trump outlawed Pride Month, I guess. It's done. It's over. I mean, they had a good run, right? I mean, it was a good, 4 or 5 years, something like that. And now being gay is illegal.
So Asmongold's being sarcastic. Totally understand that.
There we go. Just wait for June 19th. Well, June 19th is a legitimate thing. June 19th was the Emancipation Proclamation and the slaves were freed. That's a big deal. That's a real holiday. Like that's an actual real holiday. Like that's not some bullshit people made up. That's actually what happened.
So woke is officially dead. That's the headline that Drama Alert puts up there. And he goes through a lot of companies that historically have done the virtue signaling nonsense. But unfortunately, Disney's homepage for kids on, I think this is Disney Plus, has the Pride collection. The fucking Pride collection. Okay? The New England Patriots NFL football team. We celebrate Pride together. The New York Yankees, happy Pride Month. Major League Baseball, everyone's game, Pride. And we all seen the Sesame Street nonsense that's going around out there. So while I understand that there's a lot of progress that's been made, like I've always said, wokeness, identity politics, all of this stuff is 100% a disease. And if the body is infected with a disease, which our culture would be the body, if you have been infected with a disease, you don't want to get 60% of the disease out. You don't want to get 80% of the disease out. In order to defeat the disease, you need to get 100% of the disease out. And right now, the disease known as identity politics and woke virtue signaling, while definitely has been, affected significantly, it's nowhere near being dead or gone. There's still a lot of work to do, and there's still a lot of propaganda out there that I think everybody should be aware of. So just because we have a bunch of these companies that aren't virtue signaling on Twitter, which I know a lot of them probably feel like, oh, if we're on Twitter, Elon Musk owns it, we're just going to get ratioed by the MAGA crowd. So they're probably just trying to stay away, because historically Twitter has been a platform that the leftists could just push their ideology, and they can't really do that anymore. So they're going to try to get it to places that they can go. And so just be aware of that. Woke is not dead at all. It should be, but it's not up to this point. So just something to keep our eye on. Packy Proton says, thanks, Snake Pit. Coworker popped his head in to take out the office trash bins, and D-Day was reading a super that said, "You're gay. I'm gay. We're gay." Probably wondered what the fuck I was listening to. You know, that was an awkward moment right there. Oh, that's awesome. Oh, the awkwardness right there. Eric Heffelfinger pretends says, poor Beardo and Mike. No banana or hot dudes for them this month. Vlad says, but what does the euthanasia have anything to do with suicide? Thank you, Vlad. The chat says, Jeremy is a master clickbaiter. Taker says, isn't Big Beautiful Bill Epic Mike's new statue? Shadow Say says, Miki is going to be so disappointed. Super Sentai Guy says, New England Patriots, more like New England silly nannies. Am I right? I'll see myself out. Well, listen, we do know that Robert Kraft, the owner of the New England Patriots, is a big fan of massage parlors. Big fan of massage parlors. That'll Robert Kraft is. If you don't know what I'm talking about, you can look that one up. Shadow Sand says, F's in the chat for Miki and Beardo and their close relationship. Dr. Daisuke says, just checked in the Danish version of Disney Plus, and we got no Pride collection on the kids page. Hey, look at there. That's good news, at least. Let's see. What are the F's for? I don't know. Did I just say, like, is this something in a super chat I read? Miki says, ain't Is you trying to say vagina or Virginia? And why didn't it pop up on my list, by the way? So I did. Okay. See, I don't even know what I said 3 seconds ago. So who's paying attention to me? President Donald Trump has addressed the horrible situation yesterday in Colorado. He says yesterday's horrific attack in Boulder, Colorado, will not be tolerated in the United States of America. He came in through Biden's ridiculous open border policy, which has hurt our country so badly. He must go out under Trump policy. Acts of terrorism will be prosecuted to the fullest extent of the law. This is yet another example of why we must keep our borders secure and deport illegal anti-American radicals from our homeland. My heart goes out to the victims of this terrible tragedy and the great people of Boulder, Colorado. From all reports, he was an illegal immigrant, by the way. Thanks, Joe Biden. Thanks, propaganda, the Democrats and your propaganda. Thank you so much for that. But yes, so that is Joe Biden's America right there. That's the Democrats' America right there. Disgusting. We got eyewitness recalling what happened right here.
Targeted terror attack here in America. That's what the FBI is labeling the alleged firebombing incident in Colorado yesterday. It unfolded at a peaceful march in Boulder, Colorado. They were there to support Israeli hostages who are still held captive by Hamas. And it is just the latest incident like this that we have seen recently, unfortunately. Welcome to a brand new hour of America's Newsroom. I'm Dana Perino.
Morning to you. Nice to see you. On a Monday, I'm Bill Hemmer. 8 people set on fire in what officials say is a targeted act of violence. The FBI saying a man with a makeshift flamethrower and Molotov cocktails was heard yelling anti-Israel slogans during the attack. The victims ranging in age from 52 to 88 years old. The suspect, a man from Egypt, overstayed his visa here illegally, was allowed to remain under a work permit given to him during the Biden administration.
The attacks come as we see a surge of anti-Semitic attacks on U.S. soil. Less than 2 weeks ago, there were 2 Israeli embassy staffers killed by a man who authorities also say screamed, "Free Palestine." And we've seen multiple college graduations disrupted by pro-Palestinian protesters. And we'll have much more on this with Paul Morrow straight ahead. But first, let's bring in Ed Victor. He witnessed the attack in Boulder yesterday. Thank you for being here. We haven't had a witness yet on our show this morning. So let me just turn it over to you to explain what you saw, what happened.
And now let me just say back up just slightly in that this walk has been going on since October 7. It happened in 2023 every week. I started walking every week that I can since September 2024. This week started like every other week. In fact, it felt like a more quiet day on the mall. We walk silently, and that presence of just being quiet really makes people notice our sign.
I'm not telling other people what to do. I'm just telling you that I completely profile people when I'm out and about. For my own personal safety and my family's personal safety, I 100% profile. And if I see someone that I think would make me uncomfortable or causes a threat, I will definitely get myself out of that situation. 100%.
Signs of saying, run for your lives, bring them home now. And it's really just to raise awareness. We're holding signs of pictures of people who are held hostage in Gaza. It's really just an awareness. Mm-hmm. And as we walk through the Pearl Street Mall, people notice us by our silence. When we got to the old courthouse, which is on Pearl Street between 13th and 14th Street, we were lining up as we normally do. And I'm sure I walked right past the person with the Molotov cocktails. I lined up. I was standing. I remember looking west towards the mountains, talking with somebody. Suddenly, I felt a lot of heat. I turned and I saw a person on fire. And my immediate goal, as well as 2 or 3 other people, was to get the fire out. That's what we had to do. And we grabbed some flags. We grabbed some banners. Did what we could. It was horrible. And it maybe took 1 or 2 minutes. Just felt like it always took too long to get the fire out.
Yeah.
Ed, you say you've done this many times over the past year, participated in this walk.
Yeah.
Does that mean that people would know that you and your group would be there at a certain time on a certain day yet again?
Absolutely. Yep. We have it scheduled and it's known. Yep.
Ed, can I ask you about some of the other people who are walking with you? As I understand it, and I think it's a beautiful thing to do, right? That you had some elderly people who are still active and able to do this walk every week, but it was so meaningful to them to be a part of it, and then this happened.
Yeah, I mean, it's children, it's families, it's older people. It's a community of anybody anywhere in America, and we're just walking. And so we recognize each other, different people on different days of the week.
Yeah.
One thing I've never understood is like, so the reason that like we obviously with Geeks and Gamers, we have a theme park channel, Park Hoppin'. They're going to be live here in about 25 minutes. But, and whenever we try to do fan meetups, where it's Orlando, I always try to do it like Universal City Walk or something like that. Why? Because there's a level of security at Universal City Walk. People have to go through like metal detectors and things like that. So you're creating an environment where if you're, being a internet personality, like, at least we can go there. There are so many veterans out there that you could hire for security at all different random places where there's public gatherings of people. And if you were to actually, these people are looking for something to do, and they could use the work, and the people could use the security. Why are we not doing that? Why are we not doing that? Why are all of these veterans just, sitting there struggling when you could literally just give them a job that they're qualified to do, whether it be a place like this, whether it be a school, whether it be a mall, wherever. Make the public setting safer, at least for the next 10 years, because it's going to take time to get all of these fucking radicals out of the country. There is a lot of dangerous people in this country because of the Biden administration. There just is. And it's going to take time to get all of them out. And the top priority should be to make sure that our public settings are safe. And you have a lot of people, a lot of veterans out there that are qualified to do the job. You could do good by protecting the public and giving veterans jobs. It's a win-win across the board.
Ed, two things. How many were you yesterday? How many are you?
Good question.
How many are you normally? And what did you hear the suspect say?
Okay, first, to answer the first question, it was about 30 people. And so sometimes it's a little larger, sometimes a little smaller. I'll say it was a typical week. It was good to see everybody. I really, in a lot of ways, I don't know what I heard him say. I heard videos, but my thinking when it happened is my world became singly focused.
Texas Dave says, I'm a veteran and I will do security for anyone. Always alert, scanning the crowds and know the exits. Absolutely. And, a situation like this, and I know you can't prevent everything. You can't prevent everything. Tragedies are going to happen, and I totally understand that. It's about minimizing things like this. And this guy, like, if there's enough people that he can hurt at that level with Molotov cocktails, then there should be a good guy with a gun in the vicinity, and to minimize the situation.
On this person getting the fire out and then comforting her husband who was burned and distraught. And I just remember I was holding him, just being with him, being present. And I never felt my world just get so narrow to only focus on the two people who I was with. And I'm sorry, I can't answer that better.
Yeah, will you come back and march again?
Absolutely.
Yeah, that is true. It is in Colorado, which creates another set of obstacles. I'm not sure, what their rules are in Colorado. But if it's a blue state, it's probably not good. G&G Play Highlights is a Target homepage rainbow section has 2 gay birds with a U-Haul, just missing a black guy on one of the birds. Tagged you, hail the 199. Thank you, G&G Play Highlights. Queenie says none of these devs or consoles have pride crap up currently on X, not even BioWare or on their pages. W. I mean, I agree, but like, look at what Call of Duty's doing right now. Like, Call of Duty is a shell of itself. Call of Duty is awful. And do you remember a few years ago when Call of Duty, during the Summer of Love, they whenever you played Warzone, you actually had to agree that Black Lives Matter, and you had to agree that that domestic terrorist organization was standing for all of these worthy causes. They force you to agree to that shit in order to play their shitty fucking game. Let's see. Doctor says no words about the attack in the media over here, but Trump taking money from Harvard creates breaking news headline. The media is a joke. They absolutely are. Speaking of the media being a joke, and someone that recently spoke to President Trump, Bill Maher, got confronted over him whining about the 2020 election. Let's listen to this really quick.
Here's my question. When last we spoke several years ago, you were stuck on this issue. You're still stuck on it. How come?
Because it's not been resolved.
So wait, what is it that hasn't been resolved?
The asymmetry of American elections. The fact that if one party, the Republican Party, wins the election, the other party goes, okay, you win some, you lose some, and they go home. Hillary Clinton went home. Kamala Harris went home.
Yeah.
You can't imagine Trump ever going home.
Whoa. Hillary Clinton went home? Hillary Clinton went home? Really? Let's listen to this clip right here, Bill Maher.
To our future, the damage being done to our values, our institutions, and try to think of ways that I can help those who are on the front lines of the fight.
Your name doesn't come up much on any campaign except for Donald Trump's. Lock her up is still a big popular line.
I believe he knows he's an illegitimate president.
Wow. But Hillary Clinton went home, guys. Hillary Clinton went home and didn't say anything negative. Nothing at all.
He knows that there were a bunch of different reasons why the election turned out the way it did. And I take responsibility for those parts of it that I should. But Jane, it was like applying for a job and getting 66 million letters of recommendation and losing to a corrupt human tornado. And so I know that he knows that this wasn't on the level. I don't know that we'll ever know everything that happened, but clearly we know a lot and are learning more every day, and history will probably sort it all out. So of course.
That doesn't sound like she just went home, Bill. Doesn't sound like she just went home, but let's cry about Trump.
Excuse me. Now what you're doing is injecting metaphysics into what might be a matter of. So the question is not what he did. The question is not even what he might do. What you've just said is one can't imagine what he would do. But on the other hand...
No, I don't have to imagine what he did in 2020, which was never concede the election. I'm not even...
Dude, he didn't have to concede the election. He lost. If somebody is beaten in a prize fight and the other guy gets the belt, the person who's beaten does not have to concede. It's not necessary. He's lost.
Well, it is necessary.
His point stands, but Trump didn't lose. Trump didn't lose. As a matter of fact, someone explained this to me. Obama, 69 million votes. Obama's re-election, 65 million votes. Hillary Clinton, 65 million votes. Joe Biden gets 81 million votes, guys. Most popular president in the history of our country. And then suddenly Kamala gets 68 million votes. Explain that to me. It doesn't add up.
The analogy falls down because that if a prize fighter loses, it doesn't inspire people to riot.
How did he inspire people to riot?
By not conceding the election.
Oh, come on.
What?
Come on. So wait a second. He didn't say the words "I concede," and so that meant people rioted?
Yes. What do you think January 6th was about?
What do you think January 6th was?
It was about people who did not hear their leaders say, as every other leader in this country has said after an election, okay, I lost. We welcome the new guy. We had disagreements, but now we're all Americans. When Obama took over, George Bush stood next to him and he said, we want you to succeed because when you succeed, Trump didn't do any of that.
Okay.
Spied on his fucking campaign. What are you talking about, Bill Maher? Jesus Christ. even when you, Bill Maher, get to meet with President Trump and see that he's not the evil person you've claimed, it still does not cure a severe case of TDS.
So what?
Well, so what? It inspires half the country to not accept the basic democratic principle that we have elections, and when you lose, you go away, and then you become the loyal opposition. They don't see themselves as the loyal.
You like me have built a career out of nothing except talent and a little bit of luck and a lot of hard work, but you're full of shit. What I don't understand when you say that he did not say the words "I concede" caused half the country, which you just said, to riot.
No, I didn't say half the country rioted. A lot of people rioted, and it was less than half the country because he got less than half the votes and still won. That's okay. That's our system. But a good deal of the country, approaching half, the people who are MAGA, the people who love him, at least a third of the country, will now in the future never accept any electoral results. And a democracy can't continue in that way. You have to have this situation we've always had where the one football coach walks across the field and shakes the hand with the coach who just beat him in the game.
Okay,
as
what
tough
do you
as it
think
is.
would be?
Good Lord, man. He's so far gone. He's so far gone. And it's such a ridiculous thing to even get into. Donald Trump didn't concede 2020 because Donald Trump didn't lose 2020. That's just the fact of the matter. And if you truly do not believe that you lost and you are going to fight to prove that you didn't lose, why would you concede when you don't believe that you lost? Why would he do that? That makes no sense. It's the stupidest thing I've ever heard. They spied on his fucking campaign. And he's supposed to just look the other way. They raided his home. They shot at him. They indicted him 4 times. They arrested people from his campaign. And he's supposed to say, I concede because it's the right thing to do. No, never. And this is why he is Teflon Don. They want him to cuck because they need him to cuck. They need him to be the Bernie Sanders mentality. That's why they love Bernie, because Bernie cucked right when things got the toughest. Bernie Sanders put all of this out there. Oh, we've got to destroy the system. Oh, we've got to destroy the corrupts. All the elites are out there. And he built this huge following, and he had this huge movement of people. And then Hillary Clinton stole his nomination. Yes, Hillary Clinton stole Bernie Sanders' nomination. And Bernie Sanders cucked. He's like, I got to endorse Hillary. You know, he cucked. That's what they want. They can't control Trump. They're never going to control Trump. And that's why they hate his guts. That's why they despise him. So Bill Maher is absolutely just out of his mind. And again, I will repeat this right here. Explain this to me. Explain this to me. There is no way in hell that you're going to convince me that Joe Biden, with his stumbling and his fumbling and all of the nonsense we saw in the lead up to the 2020 election, you're not going to convince me that this guy got 81 million votes. I was following politics when Barack Obama ran in 2008, and we can say whatever we want about Barack Obama, and I hate Barack Obama, and I think that he has done so much damage to this country. But Barack Obama's 2008 campaign, definitely, you could feel the movement that was going on. You could feel the momentum. Now, the media had a huge part into that because the media protected him. He was very carefully placed in situations where he could make his prepared speeches, and he is a great, very gifted speech. He's gifted at giving speeches that are prepared. He's terrible talking in front of a camera without a prepared speech. But if you give him a script, Barack Obama can get up in front of tens of thousands of people and give an incredible speech. He absolutely can. But you're going to tell me that Joe Biden's campaign, that campaign, is the one that motivated that many votes? Are you kidding me? No, not even close. He's good at oral tasks. You know, Big Mike says that about Barack too, or Barry. But this graphic right here, it's very simplistic, but it puts it into terms like when you see someone say, "Oh, how can you question the 2020 election?" Just show this right here and go explain this to me. And then they're going to go, and the logical explanation to this chart is that mail-in ballots created so many different voters that would have never went to the voting booth otherwise. You can vote from your home and all of that. Valid point. Thank you for proving that it was all cheating in order to get rid of Trump. You essentially got mail-in ballots so that you could manipulate the system without any oversight. That's what happened right there. 100%. All right. Stymie says, Jeremy, you make too much sense to hire vets for security, but the crooked administrations and politicians would line their pockets with the money you'd pay the vets. Sad but true. Sad but true. Thank you for your super chat. Packet Proton says, vets for hire, new company idea. Hey. Eric for 50 says, did Hillary shake Trump's hand in 2016, or did she spend the next 4 years crying foul with Russia? How many presidential nominees were shot at during their campaigns? No, we won't concede ever again. Ever again. Kamala dated Montel Williams. I don't know if I would call it dating. I would say that Kamala was Montel Williams' side chick. Not sure I'd call it dating. Thank you, Eric, for the 50. Cole Hauser says, I do security for our conventions here in Canada because of my background and doing security for politicians. I make myself alert and known to those around. Yes, you do, brother. You helped us out, too, in Orlando. You were awesome, man. Absolutely awesome. Blast Radio says, for 10 says, Maher is full of shit because when confronted on his own show that Democrat candidates did not concede the elections of 2004 or 16, he ignored that fact and quickly moved on. So he's BSing 100%. That's TDS for you, man. Packy Prodown says, so Sesame Street has cross-dressers now. I hope shit like this converts people like Frank Oz over to MAGA. It probably won't happen, unfortunately. Face Mazda says 2024 Dems were trying to deny transfer of power. It's true. Who was it? One of those Democratic leaders. Was it Raskin? I think he had claimed that we're never going to turn the presidency over to Trump. Like he said, there was like a quote where he said that. This is before the 2024 election. But I'm pretty sure Raskin said it. He's like, we're never going to turn power back over to Trump. Never going to happen. Grant Potato says, has Stacey Abrams conceded yet? Nope. And that's okay, apparently, but from Bill Maher's perspective. Oh boy, here we go. Air Canada. Wait, what? Our first all 2S LGBTQIA plus flight was a heartfelt celebration reflecting our unwavering commitment to inclusivity and equality in the air and on the ground. What? Hang on, I gotta hear this shit.
It was a bit of a range of emotions this morning coming here and getting dressed for this flight.
C'est un moment historique qu'on vit aujourd'hui. J'ai trouvé ça une bonne initiative pour la communauté entière. Je suis comme un petit thrill de faire le vol aujourd'hui.
J'ai là pour supporter ma fille, une de mes 4 enfants est dans la communauté. Quand j'ai vu qu'il y avait une occasion de supporter encore plus, là, j'ai mis mon nom tout de suite.
We are doing the first ever, now let me get that one straight because a few letters have been added to this one, 2S LGBTQIA plus flight ever in Canada. I do identify with the progress flag. There is something in there that represents me as well. So it was a bit of joy having the opportunity to do this flight today.
Aujourd'hui, ce que ça signifie, c'est vraiment un moment très spécial. C'est vraiment un terme de visibilité, de vraiment exprimer par tout le monde. On se sent vraiment accueilli, vraiment accepté pour qui on est.
Pour célébrer l'inclusion à la diversité.
That's fucking retarded.
Nous sommes heureux d'annoncer que le vol d'aujourd'hui
features our very first all 2S LGBTQIA+ crew.
The safety and the well-being of all the passengers on board rests in our hands. So it doesn't matter who they are, what they represent. I'm equally responsible for all of them.
D'ailleurs, on aimerait vous souligner ce moment marquant de l'histoire canadienne.
And want to celebrate not just our community, but our freedom to be who we are, both at work and in society. Valuing people equally, both in the air and on the ground, and celebrating our identities, no matter what they are, with customers and our employees is important to us. Shante, you all stay.
Fuck these people.
Let's just hear what the former Canadian Prime Minister had to say about the LGBTQ 3PO bag of Dorito cookie people.
Never apologize for standing up for an LGBTQ2 plus.
Holy shit, man. That is wild. Good Lord, man. What is happening? Woo! That was something else right there. I was not prepared for that. I saw that because ALX tweeted that out. So, wait, what is this? What is this? Yikes. This is the same guy that came to the Oval Office to prove Trump wrong. South Africa is finished.
We're calling on all South Africans to wear a face mask whenever you leave home. Our clothing and textile industry, including small businesses, are gearing up to produce these masks on a mass scale. Thank you.
Jesus. Face mask. Face mask. Oh my God, man. Oh, that's pretty fantastic right there. That was pretty fantastic. I think that it's time. We have not reacted to this video for a long time on this channel. So it's time, ladies and gentlemen. It is time.
Mr. Should I call you Mr.? Pepe Julian Onzima. Thank you for coming in.
Thank you for
Good morning.
Me. Morning to you.
Why are you gay?
Who says I'm gay?
You are gay. You are a transgender.
What shows that I'm gay?
You are a transgender, yes, and you're a gay rights activist and an outspoken lesbian, homosexual. How can I describe you?
I am Pepe Julian Onzima.
His claim is he's biologically fated to be a woman.
Kakanichi, what makes him?
I'm glad Pepe is back.
I'm glad she has got.
Can you shake hands before we proceed?
Of course. How are you, Pepe? Nsaba mukama amanyi goga yingira omwana wa phone.
Pastor, no.
No. Kamusabire phone.
No. Pastor, let's maintain civility on the show. Let's maintain civility. Let's maintain civility. Pastor Semper argues that these are the instruments you use.
These are vegetables.
Yes.
I eat this on my plate.
You eat them on your plate?
Yes.
You don't use them when you're having carnal knowledge?
Absolutely.
Oh, shit. This is so great. What's up, Alec Baldwin's finger for 50 gifted memberships? Let's freaking go. Thank you, ABF in the house. Who the F is Alec Baldwin's finger?
Absolutely no. And Sempa should stop misinforming the public.
Kati ono alimba.
You are paid heavily to promote homosexuality in Uganda. What's your reaction?
It is not true. He claims I have a lot of money, I'm wearing fancy clothes and all that stuff. I do not even earn the amount of money he thinks. I do not even earn $100 a month or even annually. I do not make the money that he thinks that we make.
Okay, a carrot with a banana. And I want this young woman to explain to you.
Let's give him a chance.
What does she use for sex? What do they use for sex? What do you use? What do you use for sex? As a man,
Stop insulting my food.
You see, they don't even want to talk about
okay,
it.
let's hear from him. Let's hear from Pepe.
Why don't you respect yourself, Sempa?
Pastor, can you become for now?
No.
Can you become? And let him respond.
Okay, I'll put these ones here. I'll put these ones here to see if she will answer. When you take a man, this is a man's genital, and you insert them into the intestine. Okay, they put their genitals into the excretory system. This excretory system is not designed to receive. It is only for exit. Kino ekyenda bwe bakikulusanya ne kiyulika ne kitirika omusaayi ne kiryoka kitambuza obulwadde. That is for men. For women, what they do is they begin their sexual acts because she does not have the equipment. They begin to use their lips. So the mouth is used to lick the other person. That's number one. It created orogonorrhea. Many lesbians have orogonorrheas, orosyphilis. Number two, because they don't have the equipment, they begin to use gadgets like bananas. They use carrots. They use bananas. They use cucumbers and other metallized ones, and they put them inside themselves.
We're on the same page.
Why don't you fight for heteros as well?
What do you mean?
Heterosexuals.
What do you mean? Fight for heterosexuals? What do you mean fighting for heterosexuals?
For their rights. Yeah, for their rights.
They are so. I am a human rights defender. I'm not limited.
Sodome defender.
You are an activist for LGBTI.
I am an activist.
Gays,
bisexual,
transgender, and intersexuals.
Let me tell you something.
Where's the H?
Human rights. I told you earlier. I am a human rights activist. For this group, there are different people who work on different things. Like he does something different. You know? I do something different.
The final one. Don't you think you need to interface so that?
No, I have to pray for this young woman as I read the scripture for her. My daughter, I want to read for you a scripture.
No. I should take charge of this.
No, I want to read for her.
He's not ready. He's not ready to listen to you. No. I'm afraid. Pastor, no. I'm afraid you're not going to do this. Because my guest is not comfortable. No. Well, on that note, we thank you very much. That's all we have for you. Good morning. The morning continues. All right, on that note, we wind up and that ends the show. The morning
Woo! That is one of the greatest clips in the internet, in the history of the internet. My goodness. Oh, I'm crying, dude. That was great. Gotta recover from that one, man. I was not. But Alec Baldwin's finger did drop 50 gifted memberships.
Who the fuck is Alec Baldwin's finger?
Who is Alec Baldwin's finger? He don't miss. Chat, make sure you thank ABF for your gifted memberships. Packing Proton says Hillary didn't even thank her supporters after 12 hours of waiting for results, let alone concede. Yeah, didn't what was his name? Was it wasn't Podesta that came out there, was it? Who was it that came out there for Hillary Clinton the night of the election? Was it John? It wasn't John Podesta, was it? Chad will tell me here in just a minute. It was John Podesta. It was Podesta. Okay. Yeah, he's the one that came out there, and she wouldn't even face her own supporters. The tactician musician says, can we all say a prayer and more in the loss of Pride Month? We lost a great 30 straight days of free money printing content. It ain't over yet. It ain't over yet. Blast Radio says, also, who made the rule that you cannot concede on an election you think is rigged? Bill Maher made that rule. Who made that rule? Exactly. Grego says, thank you for flying Fig Air. Darth Manic says, I came here for the Pride Ride. Where do I insert the quarter and get this party started? Look at Darth Manic. What's up, brother? Packy Proton says, we need a don't give a shit flag for June. Eric says, 2S LGBTQIA plus sounds like a password at this point. Giggles and Bits says, I bet that flight smelled like dirty beehole. Schrodinger's chat says, inclusivity doesn't include straight white men. Grant Potato says, now serving STDs in the Mile High Club. The chat says, Jeremy, why did you take Air Canada on as a sponsor? Packy Proton says, the Big Face Mac, MCD's new sandwich. CJ says, as a white Africaner, may I ask to see Sydney Sweeney one last time to keep my American dream alive? I mean, we typically have a rule that Sydney only shows up for a proper 199, but since you asked nicely, and since ABF dropped the 50 gifted memberships, I think we could do that. What do you think, chat? What do you think? I'm sure the chat won't mind, right?
I'm so happy you love the first drop of my collection of Frankie's bikinis. We have more dreamy pieces coming our way, so tap to sign up for early access so you can get more information.
There you go. There you go. Now the chat's happy. Packy Proton says, did you see the AI of Jeremy transforming into Piper Doctor Who? Yes, Tree Bear did that. It was crazy. Tree Bear is a psychopath. Your Barmy says, based Mother F in South Africa. Packy Proton says, that accent, all I can think about is you dead, man. Mr. Bentham says, I am learning so much. Miki says, why am I gay? Gerald Armstrong says, the Why Are You Gay host is a good follow on Instagram. Is he still pretty active? I'd heard he was on Twitter and Instagram, but I've never really, I can't remember if I followed him or not. I'd have to go look and see. I cannot recall if I did. Let's see. I had another clip that I wanted to show you guys. Oh, so this right here, very interesting. So I normally don't cover a lot of this stuff, but I do think this is very interesting. So there's a YouTuber by the name of iDubbbz. I'm sure a lot of you are aware of iDubbbz, and iDubbbz used to have a ton of respect from everyone on the internet when he did his content cop, and he would call a lot of people out. And then he basically became a shell of himself in recent years, hooked up with this OnlyFans chick and became a cuck. And now he's basically destroyed his entire career by siding with people like Hassan Piker. And it's just been a bad situation for him. He came out with a content cop against Ethan Klein, and he faced massive backlash over that. It seemingly has destroyed his creator clash, his, kind of influencer boxing fighting event that he had. And I saw this clip from Donut Operator. I met Donut Operator at one of our FNT meetups last year, actually. Gary's been on the Unsubscribed podcast before. And Donut says right here, this is absolutely insane what Donut says. Listen to this.
So like he went to a range day with me one time. Like we used to talk a lot about content.
So he used to be friends with iDubbbz, is what he's saying. He used to be friends with iDubbbz. They used to have a good relationship. And then he says this.
So like he went to a range day with me one time. Like we used to talk a lot about content creation and stuff. And COVID rolls around, I get bored at home, so I make an OnlyFans where I'm showing my meat.
Really?
And so, well, basically, I'm taking a steak and I'm rating a steak. and
see, that's the reaction that you're supposed to have.
Genius. I thought it was funny. So I'd be wearing like just an apron. Of course, I'm wearing like boxers underneath. And I'd reach down and be like, "This is my OnlyFans," and this is an A5 Wagyu from down the street. And I would talk about it. And I sent it to Ian, and he got mad and called me and like said I was making fun of Anissa, and like I wasn't. I just thought it was a funny bit because I was sitting at home during COVID. And
You'll never understand what it's like to be an ally.
Yeah, it was.
Like
he
shit
said
like that.
stuff like that, and just like haven't talked to him since. That was like 5 years ago.
Over that?
Yeah, and I've like texted him and tried to reconnect with him. He just won't talk to me anymore.
That is wild. That is insane to get that sensitive. Oh, it's mind blowing, dude. I saw that and I was like, you've got to be kidding me. And then there was some follow up to a lot of this right here. iDubbbz tweets, conveniently leaving out that your girlfriend at the time was pursuing OnlyFans, but you were too pussy to deal with the criticism, so you made a parody account. No, I don't want to be friends with a coward. What? Here's Nicholas says, I don't get how this is supposed to make donut operator look like a pussy. Would the secure thing to be to make a video raging and give your fans permission to jack off to your wife? Such a weird dynamic, dude. And right here, Anissa, iDubbbz's wife, joins her husband in calling out donut operator after he exposed the reason iDubbbz stopped talking to him. Claims she had a bad experience with when Donut took her and Ian to the gun show. I had a bad experience. He also took us to a gun show where a child accidentally fired a gun that was loaded on a sales table into the crowd, and everyone nonchalantly said "ND" in unison, like it was a big deal. Doubt, major doubt. Good Lord, man. The main reason I wanted to respond to this was just because I saw the video from Donut, and I just thought, like, that is insane that you got that sensitive. Again, iDubbbz used to be a guy who was the edgelord of YouTube back in the days when YouTube was very edgy. He used to walk around saying the N-word in front of other content creators just to get a reaction, just so he could record himself saying the N-word to get a reaction. And now he's crying about Elon Musk. He's crying about Donald Trump. He's crying about toxic man babies, all of that. Like, it's crazy, dude. Cash Kester with 10 gifted memberships. What's up, Cash Kester in the house? Is this the first time you've dropped 10 gifties? Any gifties on here? Cash is awesome. Always at the meetups. A legend. Thank you, brother. Cliff Fix says Cory Booker is now a proven Nazi. When will the cancellation start? You know, I showed that that picture that Cliff sent me. That's Cliff right there. That's Cliff rocking the G&G hat, hanging out with Byron Donalds at Epic Universe. Freaking awesome, man. So appreciate you, Cliff. Going back to this, but I know that the new internet term is like crash out. You know, a lot of people are using the term crash out, and I really haven't jumped on that bandwagon at this point in time because it just seems like a new trendy word. But if I was to say that it applies to a situation, it would definitely be the iDubbbz situation. Like, it's a perfect way to describe what has happened to iDubbbz in the last few years. That is the definition of a crash out for sure. So it's sad. It's pathetic. And it's not going to get any better for him if he continues to hang out with the likes of Hassan Piker. So more power to him, I guess. Let me see. Gerald Armstrong says, the why are you gay? Oh, I got that one earlier. Yeah, I mean, that guy is awesome. At least from that clip. I don't know much about him outside that, but that guy is pretty awesome. Let me see. All right. Shout out to Cliff. Appreciate you, brother. Okay. So I want to tell you guys that we're going to be live again tonight. But if you guys want to go, I think Park Hoppin' is live. Yes, Park Hoppin' is live now. I don't want to stream over Park Hoppin' right now. So I'm sure Krista and Jay, I don't know if Ivan's there with them. Remember, we don't have very many family-friendly channels, but Park Hoppin' is a family-friendly channel. All right. So if you want to go over there and hang out with them, but try to respect the content over there because it's for nice people, not me. That's why I'm not on Park Hopping. That's why Ryan's not on Park Hopping. Okay. So, but yeah, we do appreciate it. Ivan's over there too. Nice. So if you guys want to go over there, I will raid them as we end this. That is our theme park channel. I was in the vlog that we did from Epic Universe as well. And I'll be live again later tonight here on this channel for more, because I'm sure they're going to be, I like that we do like about an hour and a half during the day, and then we can do an hour and a half during the evening, because there's more news that happens throughout the day that we can cover. So I'll be live again. Plus we're doing locals tonight, WWF, WWE, Monday Night Raw. Let's see. Rob says Hillary could not concede her election loss as she was 17 sheets to the win. Darth Manic says, I found where to insert the quarter. I can't get it out, and it's deep. Darth Manic, chill, brother. Chill. Beaky says, see you later. Take care. Thank you. I appreciate it. And then will we play games tonight? I don't know. I got to make videos, so we'll see. I've been playing a lot of Battlefront over on my D-Day Cobra gaming channel, but these clips will be clipped out and put on D-Day Cobra 2 if you're interested. So you can guys go over there and check out D-Day Cobra 2 if you are interested. But other than that, I'll see you a little bit later tonight. Have a great evening or a great day for the mods to yell at me. It's not evening yet, but have a great day, and I'll see you this evening. And go say hey to Park Hoppin'. Bye, everyone.